Amigas y amigos de Metalópolis, ¿cómo están? Qué gusto me da el poder darles la bienvenida a una plática muy especial que estamos a punto de tener con una gran artista que está por visitarnos en un par de semanas aquí en México con Cradle of Filth. Me refiero a la vocalista de la banda de Symphonic Metal, Carol Scream, también tecladista y vocalista de Cradle of Filth, la gran Zoë Marie Federoff. Hi Zoë, welcome to Metalópolis podcast. How are you?
It's great to be here. Thank you. Good to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. So, first of all, Cradle of Filth are coming to Mexico and Latin America with an extensive tour to present the Screaming of the Valkyries. What are your expectations about this tour?
Well, whenever we're in Mexico, it's always the best energy from these crowds. I mean, you guys have some serious metalheads down there.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fantastic. I'm really excited because we're going to some places that I've never been before in Mexico, including going to Ciudad Obregón in Sonora, which I'm excited about because my great-grandmother was from Sonora, and I've never gotten to spend a lot of time there before. So I'm really looking forward to experiencing the local culture, art, and of course the cuisine, because your country has the best food in the world.
Yeah, Sonora is like a really hot city, so you're gonna need maybe some screen for the weather, but hope you enjoy it.
Soy de Nogales, Arizona, so I'm used to the heat.
That's really fine. And how do you prepare yourself for such an extensive run, especially your voice?
Well, the most important thing I've discovered in touring is staying hydrated, drinking plenty of water, and also getting sleep. And if you get enough sleep and stay hydrated, that's the best thing you can do for your voice. Usually when I'm on tour, I pack tamales and choluca, but I don't have to do that on this tour because obviously you guys have good food. So
yeah, that's awesome. And about the record, The Screaming of the Valkyries is such a cool name. Can you tell us a little bit about what is the meaning behind that title?
Sure. So, of course, Danny Filth names the albums, and The Screaming of the Valkyries is part of Nordic mythology when the heavens are being assaulted, when the heavens are being torn apart. And the Screaming of the Valkyries, when the Valkyries start screaming, it means that the heavens have fallen. It's the end.
Yeah, I think that it's a really powerful title, and the cover art is also really grotesque in a way, but it fits perfect with the Cradle of Filth music. And
this artist, I have to give a shout out to the artist who did the cover art, Roberto. He's really talented, and he did do something that is so mind-bending and twisting and weird to look at, but it's fantastic.
Yeah, with a lot of hiding elements that you have to watch really close to the cover art to find out. And for the people that have no clue about the sound of this new release, how could you describe for them the sound of The Screaming of the Valkyries?
For The Screaming of the Valkyries, we stripped back the orchestrations quite a bit, and we went for more gothic keyboard sound, like in the earlier albums, like Midian, for example.
Yeah.
We created this kind of more old school atmosphere, but also with some really new school elements and exciting additions like thrash style riffs. You have these really great, big, epic 80s style melodic choruses as well in some of the songs. So we tried to go old school, but also bring in some really cool new influence as well. And it doesn't sound very much like the last three albums, but I think that fans of the older albums will probably find something interesting in it too.
Yeah, it's like a blend of different eras of Cradle of Filth. Like you say, it's some of the old, some of the new, blended, and we get The Screaming of the Valkyries, a really good record. And this is your first time that you record with Cradle of Filth, one of the biggest names on the extreme metal world. Could you share with us how do you feel in the process of recording your voice and the keyboards for this release?
It's such an immense weight to have to uphold the legacy of such a legendary band, obviously. You feel pressure to deliver for the fans because I was one of the fans. I am one of the fans. I've been listening to Cradle of Filth for 20 years now. And to do it justice, to go in and do one of these legendary bands justice. It was a lot of pressure, like I said, but it was made easier by the fact that the producer, Scott Adkins, is very easy to work with. He's a sweet guy. Danny Filth was in the studio with me, being very encouraging along the way as well. So even though I went in feeling frightened and intimidated, I left really good and positive about the whole thing.
Do you think that there is really some kind of extra pressure from being a fan and to now being in the band?
I would say so because, of course, I want to create cradle music that would make teenager Zoe happy,
Mhm.
right?
Oh yeah.
Because if I think about 16-year-old Zoe listening to Cradle of Filth, I want to make records that 16-year-old Zoe would be like, yeah, another great album, you know?
Yes, of course. A lot of us grown up with Cradle of Filth music, and that's really awesome. So, talking about your voice, inside the Screaming of the Valkyries, my two favorite tracks are Non Omnis Moriar and White Hellebore, two songs where your voice plays a leading role. Do you remember your feelings when you hear for the first time your voice on the final master of the Screaming of the Valkyries?
I was I was in tears, literally.
Yeah.
Even during just recording, you know, for example, Non Omnis Moriar, I was in tears because it felt so amazing, A, to be part of a Cradle of Filth record,
Mhm.
but also the depth of both of those songs for me and what they represent lyrically is very deep and dear to my heart as well. And when the finished record came out and I heard that, and I heard other people listening to my voice on a Cradle of Filth track, it's very surreal. But again, it's also a lot of pressure because you're like, would 16-year-old Zoe approve? So
Yeah. Yeah, there are such amazing songs. And talking about other people, how do you feel about the reception from the Cradle of Filth fans of this new record?
you know, the fans of this band are so sweet. Really, they're so welcoming. They're so kind. Obviously, people still love a lot of my predecessors like Lindsay Schoolcraft and Sarah Jezebel Deva, but I love them too, of course, as a long-term fan of the band.
Mm,
So it's really nice that people give me the same chance that they gave the other ladies.
mm.
And it's great because we can all share our love for the amazing lineup of women this band has had throughout the years. So the fans are really, really sweet. They're really, really welcoming. And they've all, you know, a lot of them have said that Screaming of the Valkyries really gives them that old school feeling they've been missing for
Yeah,
a while. That's very sweet to hear.
yeah. Oh, that's really nice. And taking back the tour that you are about to start, Cradle's discography is quite extensive. Do you have any favorite songs to play live and maybe one challenging song?
Well, on this tour, we've got a good mix of old and new going on.
Mhm,
My favorite songs to play right now are White Hellebore. That one's so much fun live. It's got a great energy to it.
mhm.
We also have been playing Death Magic for Adepts lately live.
Yeah.
That's so intense. And we actually never played it live before this year. This has been its live debut this year. It's a great track off of Midian.
Mhm.
One that is challenging. Honestly, nothing is very challenging per se, but if there's something I will forget to do is sometimes I forget where in the set list Cruelty Brought the Orchids is.
Mhm,
And I forget that I have to start the song. I have to say, hear me now.
mhm.
And I'd say once every 50 or so shows, I blank out and I forget that I'm supposed to start that song. And, and then Dan's looking at me like, so
That kind of stuff happens now at live shows. I'm talking of live presentations. Do you prefer the big ones, festival style, or maybe the small ones on some underground bar?
it's funny because it's a great honor to be playing big festivals like Wacken or Hellfest, for
Mhm.
example. I love being a part of the amazing legacy of those festivals, but there's something really special about the smaller shows.
Yeah.
You know, when you can see everyone's faces in the front row, when you can see the smiles and the head banging and everyone just losing their minds and
Mhm.
going. And at the festivals, those people are farther away, so you're maybe not catching the same energy that you
Mhm.
do with the small shows.
And Cradle of Filth's atmosphere is in general a really dark, gothic, romantic scenario of horror, or at least that's how I see it. What do you like it the most about this fantastic universe of dark romanticism?
The thing is that Danny Filth, our lyricist, who does all the lyrics himself, of course, takes so much inspiration from so many different Victorian, Gothic, and Romantic writers and authors.
Mhm.
Hear those influences coming out, so you know he's really well researched when it comes to the mythology and the writing styles behind his lyrics. And I'm always impressed with that he puts that amount of dedication and care. He's a fantastic lyricist.
Yeah.
I would say one of the best metal has ever had, for sure. And tracks also more recently, like a Discourse Between a Man and His Soul on Existence is Futile, and
Mhm.
Non Omnis Moriar on this record, also show this new this really introspective side of him that is taking a very good look at his life and his career at this stage in the game. Because you're not going to write about the same things you wrote when you're 20. When you're 50 years old, you don't write about the same things you wrote when you were 20.
Yes.
It's nice to see him maturing and evolving along with his stage in life, you know?
Yeah. And for you, what could be the strongest quality of Cradle of Filth's live performance? What can the audience expect from your live shows?
This lineup has such good chemistry on stage, in my humble opinion, because there's so much friendship between the guys and me. And when you have that friendship, that camaraderie on stage, it shows. Everyone here really likes each other. We have, you know, at this point on guitars, we have my husband Ashok and we have Donnie Burbage, the other new kid like me. And the two of them have these really great different aesthetics and stage presence styles that play off of each other great. You have our bassist Dougal, who is a fantastic live performer, you know, one of the best bassists I've ever worked with live for sure. And he's always doing crazy windmilling stuff. I try to coordinate my windmills with him. So I think, you know, we did a Latin American Mexican tour 2 years ago now. And we've only gotten, I think, tighter and better since then in terms of the comfort this lineup has on stage. Yeah,
that's awesome. Always, you can see the chemistry on a band from live videos, YouTube maybe, but you can see that actually you complement each other, and that's really, really fantastic.
Well, again, we're friends. That helps. So it's like going out there and getting to rock out with your friends, and that's the best feeling ever.
Yeah, that's awesome. Also, you are in a band named Catalyst Crime, a project that can be described as symphonic metal with elements of other styles. It is difficult to go from symphonic metal to extreme metal in terms of live shows, recording, and that kind of stuff.
You know, metal is metal, and there's always like an intensity and an authenticity to metal in general. You know, Catalyst has some extreme and death metal elements as well, not as much as Cradle, obviously, but both also share a love of melody, obviously, because both are very melodic metal. And it wasn't that much of a big jump for me. In fact, some material that I wrote for the recent Cradle of Filth album was originally written for Catalyst Crime. And it was very easy to tweak it a bit and change the mood a little bit and make it work for Cradle as well.
That's perfect. And talking about Catalyst Crime, I really like a song called Cognitive Dissonance with Jake E. I think that is a really energetic song with some theatrical elements. Where do you find the inspiration to write for two different bands?
Well, artists have to create art. It's like breathing for artists, right?
Yes.
So Cognitive Dissonance was a really important one for me because I wrote it at a point in my life when I was really trying to decide who I wanted to be as an adult woman. And you kind of have to learn to juggle these two different parts of you, the dark and the light, and learn how to be consistent with your morals and your values. And so life in general inspires me because, of course, in that moment of deciding who do I want to be, Cognitive Dissonance was born. And all the other songs and pieces of music that I write also come from those moments where just there's a melody for every single story in my life. There's a piece of music for it. And sometimes I just kind of keep following it until it becomes a full song. That's the best way to describe it.
Perfect. And actually, both of your projects, Cradle and Catalyst, are international bands. How does it feel to be part of these types of bands that are integrated with people from so many countries around the world?
I think, first of all, it's very healthy because you get this kind of global perspective on life, get to work with people from around the world. It's very easy in today's day and age. You know, you and I are on a Zoom call. I can call up my bandmates in either band and we can write music over Zoom. That's really, really easy. But overall, too, again, you just get this wonderful global perspective on the business, on music itself, and on life. You know, when we're touring in Germany, my drummer in Catalyst Crime is German. And so he has all this fascinating insight onto German culture, German cuisine, German history. That's a lot of fun. And when he's in the States, obviously, I get to return the favor.
Yeah, I think that's also awesome. And before ending, Zoe, what is coming in the future for Catalyst Crime? And for the people that doesn't know the sound of your band yet, which could be the best song to start listening to Catalyst Crime?
Well, Catalyst Crime is about to announce some really exciting new stuff that I can't say just yet. But we definitely have new music coming out very soon. We do have more show dates coming up very, very soon. We're excited to announce all of that. And if you've never heard Catalyst Crime before, it's symphonic metal with some death metal elements, some progressive metal elements, some gothic, cinematic themes going on. It's tough to pick just one song, but I would say Cognitive Dissonance, like you said, is one of my favorites. So I would maybe recommend starting with that one.
Perfect. And the last question, and maybe the most important one, do you have any favorite Mexican food?
Oh, all of them. Al pastor, bir
Tacos al pastor.
yeah, al pastor, birria, chiles en nogada. My pronunciation's not great. I apologize. I think the best thing though about Mexican food is, of all the cuisines in the world, you guys took the humble pinto bean and you made frijoles. And frijoles,
Yeah.
they're so simple and so perfect. So
Yeah, but actually, chile en nogada is like a really under dish in Mexico. Not a lot of foreigners know that dish, so it's really awesome that you know chile en nogada. It's like a really cultural and seasonal dish here in Mexico. So thank you for that. I know that it's important also that a lot of people know the Mexican culture and cuisine and that kind of stuff.
in my the most beautiful country in the world, you know, people should know everything about it.
Thank you for that. Thank you so much also for your time, Zoe. It was a wonderful opportunity to talk with you. Please share with us your social medias and where the people can know more about Catalyst Crime, Cradle of Filth, news, tours, and that kind of stuff.
Sure thing. You can visit Cradle of Filth at cradleoffilth.com. Catalyst Crime is catalystcrime.com. I have my own website, zoefederoff.com. I'm Zoë Marie Federoff on Instagram and on Facebook.
Well, thank you very much for the time, Zoe, and see you on September 23 at Veracruz, at Foro Boca, and on the next Cradle of Filth tour here in Mexico. Thank you so much.
See you then.
Bye.